Okay, crazy cop story. Hopefully my battery will last. I did 4 videos. This is when I was working a joint task force down at El Paso. We were doing drug interdiction down there, and we had our dogs, and you know, I happen to be in charge. The Air Force buys all the dogs from the military. So any military branch that has dogs, the Air Force runs it down at Lackland Air Force Base. We buy all dogs for all branches. We train them. And we have some Marines and Armies that come here and train with us, but mainly the Air Force runs that. So we're doing a drug interdiction program down working with U.S. Customs down the border in El Paso. So they send a group of guys. They send me 2 Marines, 2 Air Force guys, 2 Army guys. I don't think we had any Navy guys. But we had 6-8 guys, and I was in charge of the, I was the NCO in charge of the operation. So they sent me down there to supervise this, to do the training, etc. Well, when we train drug dogs, we have to carry around actual cocaine, marijuana, heroin, methamphetamine. We have all these drugs that is certified pure because we don't want it cut. We have it analyzed, and it has to be so pure because we don't want the dog hitting and smelling on the cutting agent. We want them smelling on the actual substance. So, and then you have to be careful when you're handling them so you don't cross-contaminate. I don't want to put all 4 drugs in one pocket because then all the odors will mix and it will give a different odor to the dog, and then the stronger odor will dominate the less odor. Marijuana has a very strong odor. Heroin has a much less odor. Meth has a strong odor. Coke has less than meth, but more than heroin. So you got all these drugs. So I always drove around, and we had, we were authorized to carry drugs. We had a letter that we carried with us saying we're authorized to possess these drugs legally per some federal exemption, whatever. So we always had drugs we do. So I had to bring all these drugs down here. I had to fly on a plane with them. I had all, I'll go through all the bullshit to make sure that dog didn't hit on my bag and all this bullshit. So we get down there and I do training and stuff. Well, somehow I didn't know what we were doing. And when we went down there, at first they were like, you just need a couple rental cars. So I was like, screw that. I said, all my guys need their own rental car. So I kind of complained. I got everybody a nice Cherokee. It was a government dime. What I care? That's back when when you're in the government, you act like the government. So I was like, it ain't my money. I don't care. So I got everybody a nice Cherokee. So we all had our own Cherokees, and we'd go off in training. We'd go 4-wheeling with our dogs to train them to exposure to rough riding, of course. But we went for it. It was a pretty good time. So while I'm down there, when I'm driving around, I got somehow on this stinking road. And I've got all these drugs in my car, and I got on the way to Mexico. So I end up going through the road to Mexico, and I got a gun on, and I got fucking all these drugs, and I'm like, shit, this isn't good. I said, I'm crossing over the border here. They don't take too kindly to drugs. They can make a nice big statement by snagging my ass, snagging all these drugs, saying I was a smuggler for the government, armed, and I'd be rotting away in a Mexican prison. So I was sweating my butt off. I'm going through there. So I pull out my badge. I go, hey, I just need to make a U-turn. And luckily the guy was like, okay. And I went around. I made a U-turn. I got the hell back on the U.S. side. But for a split second or so, I was in here, had to go up and make a U-turn. I was sweating bullets. I think I'd have just, if they tried to stop me coming back, I'm pretty sure I ain't stopping. I just went through it. I'd have dealt with the fallout of running that gate into the U.S., then I would have had to try and explain why I have a gun and drugs in Mexico. But anyway, so that was one part of the story. The other part of the story, and then I mean, look, I kind of come off like a hard guy, but I'm a pretty sensitive guy. I mean, I feel for people in bad situations. I have a heart. I have more of a heart for animals than I do people, but I have a heart for people sometimes. So this one Marine I had, he was kind of not showing up at work on time. He was late. And when I was in the military, I was a lot more anal about, hey, you know what, you represent your agency, you show up on time, you're supposed to be here, people depend on you, you can't be late. So he was late a few times, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, half hour. I would come in, because they worked 3 different shifts, I would have to come out on all different shifts to see when they were coming, etc., because I was only one guy supervising them. So I don't know if they're supposed to show up at 10 and they don't show up till midnight. I wouldn't know. They're supposed to be there available to search and work with customs. So this guy was late a few times, and as I was there for a while, I caught him sitting on a step. He would get drunk a lot. And a lot of military guys drink. I didn't think that was that odd. But I caught him a couple times crying on the porch, drinking, and he was kind of displaying signs of PTSD. He was, all I can remember is the bodies and the body parts, and he goes, just seeing somebody in there. And so he was kind of pulling on my heartstrings a little bit. I was kind of like, dude, I don't want to jack you up. and kick your ass out of this operation. Because when you get a special duty assignment like that, you represent your agency, if you get sent back by the guy in charge, you're kind of screwed. So I didn't want to send him back and basically fire him from the mission. He's having these issues, so I was like, dude, man, I understand. I said, look, can't we set you up some counseling? Can't I call and say that you need... No, man, I don't. And that's kind of normal too. Guys don't want help. So I didn't think anything of it. Well, it got to where, he was showing up an hour and a half, 2 hours late. The other Marine that was working with him like, dude, I'm getting tired of showing up on time. I'm working my ass off. I'm doing the job of 2 people and he's always late. And I'm like, all right, he's right. I shouldn't make him punish for this guy. So finally I go, look, dude, you show up late again, it's over. Well, he showed up late again, a couple hours, same way. They had been drinking, kind of hungover, saying he's dealing with this drama of all this. So I call his unit. I go, dude, you got to send me another guy or send this guy back. I think the operation's over in a couple weeks, so I was like, you know what? Just send him back. I'm done. Maybe it was a month or so we had left. But I couldn't have him there showing up late and then everybody else showing up on time, because then everybody else would be like, shit, if he ain't got to show up, I ain't got to show up. So I had to get rid of him. So I call his unit and I send him back. When I talked to the guy and I talked to who it is, the guy goes, what's his name? Blah, blah. And I said, look, man, I don't want this guy getting in trouble. I said, he needs some help. Y'all need to get him some counseling. And I said, if it comes back to me that he got in trouble for this because he's got issues from being, overseas in the war and dealing with this bullshit, I said, I'm going to be pissed and I'm going to say that, hey, this wasn't his fault. This was your fault for not fucking taking care of it. So the guy got a little fit like, oh, well, And I was like, look, dude, I'm just telling you. I don't want the guy getting in trouble, but he's got to go. I can't have him here. I don't use him. He's late, etc. So he calls me back. He goes, hey, Sergeant Gore? I go, yeah. He goes, this is, I don't know, Sergeant Major, I don't know what the hell he was, some Marine rank. And he's like, I just want to let you know he's coming back and he's out of there. And there's something else you should know. He ain't never been overseas, and he ain't never been stationed here, but at this fort, I don't know wherever he was at, wherever he was stationed at. And he goes, so all that bullshit about him seeing bodies and killing all the ragheads and shit is all bullshit, because he ain't ever been over there. I was like, you talk about feeling like a big dumbass. But I was like, you know what? Hey, I tried to do the right thing. The guy went back. I don't know what happened. He probably got in pretty big trouble. I don't know what they did, but, hey, it is what it is. So those are a couple of crazy military cop stories. We'll end that there.